And welcome to episode 97 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. We're talking Inuyasha Season 1, episodes 1 through 27 today. For this podcast episode, I'm your host JD, joined as usual from Tori and Hickey. Tori, how you doing? Watching that Champions League?
Yeah, I did. Chelsea's still in it, so still keeping up with that, and it's looking good. It's looking good, but I never got this. I never actually got asked this. I should ask. Why exactly episode 1 through 27 of Inuyasha?
Because that's Season 1.
Like on the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah, and like it's Wikipedia marks it at 27 is when the season officially ends.
Okay, because
yeah,
sure, I guess. Because I was looking that up, I was like, maybe it's like arc end or something, and I kept just getting into stuff where it's like, not really.
No, Inuyasha is very, as we'll find out, it doesn't really have arcs.
Yeah, I know. It's one big story. So it's like, but it's like people are still arguing over how you can divide it up, and I'm like, everything I saw, it's like, so I think we stopped in the middle of something, but either way, I don't really care.
Yeah,
it's just something I noticed. I was like, why exactly 27?
Look, man, when it stopped airing in 2004, at least in the West, it took 5 years for them to finish the last 26 episodes. So it kind of
5 years.
It's fine.
No, it's not fine. Okay, that's fine.
It's totally fine. It's totally good. Hickey, you're also here. Have you been watching the Champions League or any sports?
No.
Lame. No. I don't think. Well, I've watched Paris Saint-Germain against Bayern.
Ah, there you go. I also watched that game.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Like I took some glances at it. It wasn't like the full game. Just about here and there. I don't stop at home, and when I stop, I'm usually sleeping. So, or like recording stuff like this.
Sleep is for the weak. I don't know if you've heard this.
That's true.
Yeah, well, I guess.
You guess.
Or, for those who have a actual work that demands a lot from your psyche, and instead of just going around rampaging and killing people, you just sleep.
Well, all right. That's quite the way to phrase it, but
why not both?
It's a little bit hard to kill people when sleeping.
Says you.
I've seen some movies, Hickey, where that's kind of where some things do happen. Have you ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
And he's gone.
Did he just drop out? Did I insult his intelligence so much he muted? Great. Awesome. Tori.
Yes.
What did you think of Bayern Munich getting kicked out?
I mean, it's I'm a little bit torn on it. Like, on one hand, I don't mind because it's Bayern, and
I'm of that same mindset.
It kind of re-emphasized my point. Bayern is not very efficient without Lewandowski on the pitch.
No, that was very apparent.
And so that's but at the same time, it's like I don't mind them going out, especially since they're reigning champions. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's PSG. I'm not super keen on PSG winning, but at the same time, I like Pochettino. I like their coach. So it's like, I don't know. I'm fine with it as long as PSG doesn't win the Champions League.
You're fine with both these teams eventually not winning.
Basically, that's basically where I'm at. I mean, again, like I said, I support Chelsea. They're still in there, so had a rough time against Porto, but ultimately won. So that's all that matters. 1-2-1 for 2 legs, and fun stuff. First time we've been in the semifinals for 7 years under a new coach as well. So it's gonna be fun to see how long this lasts.
It's been a hot minute.
Can we go all the way, or we'll see. Now it's Real Madrid next. It's never easy to say with Real Madrid. They do seem very weak at times, but then Champions League runs comes around and they kind of just steamroll.
Yeah, I think the question about Real Madrid over how they perform in the Champions League is very much different from how they perform in La Liga. I think of that. I think this year in particular is very apparent for that. Just you almost got to treat them as 2 separate teams.
Kind of, but I mean, at this point, they've kind of got their act together in La Liga as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're back in first. Either them or Atletico Madrid. I'm not entirely sure.
No, still Atletico. It's not important. Baseball season started, so I've watched, God, just about every game I could get my hands on. I listen to games at work on the radio. I know Tori, big fan of baseball in Norway there.
Oh, totally. Yes, of course. Baseball. Woo.
Yeah. Norway national sport.
Norway's
right.
national sport.
Just like Japan.
Little
Winter
known
baseball.
fact, it's actually baseball.
Winter baseball. Mountain baseball. You need to hit the ball up a mountain.
Using ice.
Playoff. One team is at the bottom, the other is at the top.
It's a very weird set of rules there in Norway for the baseball. Yeah, little known
he
facts.
got a hit. Now you need to run up this mountain trail.
That actually sounds really fun to try to see how you could make that work.
I mean, I assume that would be fucking exhausting.
Dude, the endurance level needed. You need to put all your points into endurance to play Norwegian baseball.
There will be no fat people playing baseball in Norway.
You hit the ball, you just run, grabs a ski and a hunting rifle.
Biathlon baseball, even better.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd actually watch that. That sounds cool.
And he's running the first. And he's right on target. He's out.
Actually, you know what? Even better. No, fuck that. When the guy gets a hit and he goes off, have the other guy have like a BB rifle or something, and then they try to shoot at him as he's fucking just going.
Yeah, it's great.
That'd be fun.
You read the injured list the next day. Ah, man, another guy out with a poked out eye. Damn it.
Man, I can't believe this happens so often.
They should
we
really
give
think
them,
about
like,
wearing
a
ski
visor or
goggles.
something to protect their eyes? No? Okay.
It's great. It's good stuff. But yeah, been watching a lot of baseball. Colorado Rockies. That's my favorite team. They're the worst team in the league. They're atrocious this year. So
JD has a thing for bad teams. Let's see.
it's a rough look. Hanover's in the second league. They suck. Well, the Avalanche in hockey, they're like the best team in hockey this year. They're one of the Stanley Cup favorites, and the Utah Jazz are still number one ranked team in the NBA, best record. So this year is not as bad as previous years. Although yesterday their star player went down with an ankle injury, so fingers crossed that he can only miss a few games and come back, and it's not like a shattered Achilles. So there is that. So it's 50-50, Tori. 50-50 this year in particular.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, for those that don't know, the Rockies traded away their star player in the offseason, their franchise player, their best player, one of the best players in baseball, and the president had the audacity to come on, press conference. He just goes, "Yeah, it's a bummer. We just felt like it was just time to trade him." Bear in mind that the team got nothing in return for him.
Great.
Basically nothing. That's what I made it, and he had the audacity to go. But I think we're still gonna compete this year. We got a team that can really go. Yeah, they're 3-10 already to start off the season. They're the worst team. They suck ass. They're ugh.
A typical owner that has never even been to a game.
Oh my god, just awful, awful. They're the worst.
It's great.
No.
My local team.
He asked for a raise, and we said it was a pleasure to work with you. Goodbye.
Yep. Bye. Yeah, no, like my local team, my football team here, Brann, they have this fucking annoying thing that they do. Like, we're doing absolutely... The season hasn't started yet. It will start soon. We just today got spanked in a friendly. That's fun. And, we're just doing worse and worse. And we have this annoying thing that we do where it's like, we bring up players or we, develop players. And then we sell them for nothing.
Oh, interesting strategy.
I know, right? And then, when they're 30, we bring them back.
So when they're out of their prime.
Yeah.
And you probably pay more for them to come back.
Yes. It's what's the actual point?
Yeah, what's the end goal
why?
with it all?
It's such a weird thing, but hey, it's the way we do things now. So it's yeah. And then, I'm still surprised because we don't even really have a youth setup. But like even last season, we managed to get up like a fucking I don't remember 19, 20-year-old defender who just comes out for a couple games. And that guy was actually good, so of course he got injured. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know how they do it. But they shouldn't do it because if they ever show any potential for anything, they'll get sold. Sold. They'll get just given away.
Given away, right? Yeah.
Come back here when you're old enough.
Jeez. Well, in other news, on this episode, Graph.anime is back. Anime.plus. What you do, it's Malgraph. Basically, what you do is you have your My Anime List profile. You can input your username, and then it gives you kind of your rankings and favorite years and recommended anime throughout all the ones that you've watched. It's a really cool site. It's really neat. It shows you your favorite genre, your least favorite, your favorite studio, least favorite. It ranks everything. It's got weighted scores. It shows you how much time you've invested into certain shows, genres, etc. It's a really cool site. We did mention a few podcasts ago, I believe, Tori, it was, that no longer worked. Well, it's back. And
Yep.
I don't know about you guys. I haven't input anything in this thing in like 2 years.
Well, mine was surprisingly well updated. But I mean, I guess I did just check it recently as well when it still didn't work properly. So I guess it saved that.
Oh yeah,
But
maybe,
yeah,
perhaps.
it updated a little bit. I had a couple more episodes to add to it, but other than that, nothing really.
Okay. Well, I thought it'd be a fun little topic, or at least discussion, fun stuff to go over. Kind of what shows it's recommending to us now, what our top 3 favorite genres and studios are, and our least favorite genres and studios are, according to Malgraph, Graph.anime.plus. Sounds fun?
Just a
Sure.
disclaimer. When on the favorites and least favorites, when it comes to genre, it's not accurate.
Well, it's a weighted score based on
Because,
how
yeah.
you've what all the anime you've watched and kind of rated on My Anime List, and that's just how it comes. You can
It's,
rank it by other ways, but it's just fun goofy
I mean,
stuff.
I can look at it and see like, oh yes, those are the ones I actually don't like. Instead of going through the list, because come on, the last 3 on my list is just like that's not just true. It's
Ah,
like,
come
oh,
on,
yeah,
Hickey, just have fun with it.
You watched 300 plus shows with this tag. It's definitely your least favorite one.
Well, yeah, you're
Like,
more harsh and I mean,
Based on your
I'll give an
ratings,
example of
score.
what I know what you mean. TMS Entertainment is probably one of my favorite studios because it pumps out so many shows I like to watch, including Detective Conan, and it's near the bottom of my studio ranking list because I'm a little bit more harsh on a lot of things TMS Entertainment goes. So I don't hate it completely, not at all. I think the same thing could be said for JC Staff. That's pretty much at the bottom too, but far from my least favorite studio. I know what you mean,
Make a
Hickey.
lot of trash.
They also
Also,
do that.
I think the biggest problem as well, right, is, for example, if I look at favorite studios right now, I see I have TMS in 7th. But if I look a little bit further down and I get down to 15th, suddenly I find Tokyo Movie Shinsha. And guess what Tokyo Movie Shinsha is?
The same thing.
That's right, it's the same studio. So it's like, it's not very good at that. It doesn't, like, it basically just takes every different name, every name that's registered as a studio in My Anime List, and adds it as a separate entity, which isn't correct, right? Tokyo Movie Shinsha and TMS is the same studio. They've just changed their name over the years.
Yeah, that's okay. Not the end of the world. So
No, but it would affect your score.
yes, of course it would. But let's just have fun with this.
No.
Yes, fun. I want to have fun.
No fun allowed.
No fun allowed.
So I'm curious. If we go to favorite years, I'm curious to what's your highest ranked year, since this is a retro podcast. I don't know if you've heard. What is your highest
Never heard of it.
and lowest ranked year? Tori, what you got?
Easy. My highest ranked year is 1970.
And why is that?
Because that has an average score of 9. Because guess what's the only show I've seen from the 70s?
Ashita no
right,
Joe.
That's right, the first season of Ashita no Joe, that is. That is why that is on that 9.
All right.
So
and
not
you're-
exactly very accurate. Let me just give a real quick check here to see. Yeah. So the highest actual would be 1997 at a 7.33.
Ooh, let's see. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
I
there's
got
a
you from that
problem.
one.
I would have to go and look how many shows I've watched per year because I've watched a lot of shit. All right, I have like 8. I have 1971, which is probably one show. 1974, which is probably one show. It's probably Lupin. And so the highest one would be 1993 with an 8.
1993. All right, what's a show from that year, Hickey, that you got?
Oh shit!
Just
Hold
one's
on.
fine.
Let me go to my list.
You can
So
just click on the thing as well, and you can
Yeah,
see
you can
the
just
show
click
that
on the
that's
dot and
there.
it'll come up.
Oh shit! This side is nice. Uh, Sailor Moon which
Oh,
which
no.
has a 7. That's okay. Kido Keisatsu Pet Labor 2, the movie, with a 9.
Pat Labor, yeah.
Dominion Tank Police with an 8, and Slam Dunk with an 8.
Ooh, I still need to watch Slam Dunk myself.
So
My
Let's see the 74. The 71, there's 2. Oh, that's because Chargeman Ken came out in 74.
So my least favorite or least mean score is from 1975. That has a lot of tokusatsu shows and super robots, very much kids shows, so they're all rated kind of 5 or less. So that makes sense there. And the highest rated from my years is 1979, which is a very strong year. It's got Lupin, Castle Cagliostro, Gundam, Rose of Versailles, Akage no An. So that makes all the sense in the world why 1979 is highly ranked for me. A lot of strong stuff that came out in 1979. Favorite and least favorite genre. Tori, what are your top 3 and lowest 3? Which is kind of funny.
So my top 3, I'm going to start at 3 and work my way up.
Okay.
My number 3 is drama. I don't know if I agree with that. I have thriller in 4th. I would definitely put that above drama.
No. The graph is never wrong, Tori.
Never.
You don't defy the graph.
And number 2 is mystery, which is pretty accurate. I do like me a good mystery.
Ooh. Okay.
And number 1 is, as I've always said, so I definitely got this one right, is psychological. I've always loved me some psychological stuff. It's nice. And my lowest 3 are both, 2 of them are wrong, and 1 of them is probably right. But it should honestly be more shows. So, same thing, going down. The 3rd lowest is school, which in my opinion should be lowest, just because literally every anime is set in school, almost. And then the 2nd lowest is harem, which just isn't true. I just rate them poorly because a lot of them are bad shows.
Well, I mean, that would be the least.
Hey, man, I don't hate harems. Harems are fun. I fucking look out for harems at times.
Well,
And
then
the
don't
lowest
rate
is
them so
ecchi.
low.
And then the lowest is ecchi, which is just straight up wrong. I don't even understand how this is possible.
Man, I feel you. Because my favorite shows are in 3rd place, Supernatural, which is fine. I like Supernatural. The 2nd one is psychological, and the 1st one is drama. I have 2,153 hours watched of drama shows. That's a lot of time. My 3 least favorites is on 4th, harem, then ecchi, then school.
That is
when it goes to through time. Let's see, school is like way up the scale. My most watched show by hours is comedy shows. with
Yeah, same.
4,500, and then action and shonen.
Oh no, sorry.
Then
Action is mine with 2,734 hours of action.
Mm.
yeah, funny enough, I watched almost 5 hours of shonen.
It's okay. Good to know. I don't actually
It's not-
have
oh, yeah.
Shonen Eye on my fucking list at all
Yeah, it's
because I don't watch it.
Hitorijime My Hero. I think I watched. Yeah.
That's funny. So my top three, third is space. That makes all the sense in the world for me.
Yeah, you live in the 80s. We get it.
Yeah, I kind of do. Two is adventure, also makes a lot of sense, and then one is drama. So I'm with Hickey on the drama train.
We all know what should be like space adventure shonen.
Yeah, funny enough, shonen is lower than seinen on the weighted scale. So that's funny. Seinen's
As
in
it
fifth.
technically should be.
Yeah, well.
yeah.
And then the bottom, I'm with you guys, except also a little bit mixed with the school ecchi harem, and that's the list it goes to: 40 school, 41 ecchi, 42 harem. So we all our bottom three match up just in a different little order. For most time,
I
I'm
almost feel like it weights these like worse than others.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I bet you. For most
Like,
time,
I
I'm at action with 3,500. So yeah,
How come the
the
weighted
shonen.
score given genre? Like that's something I don't understand, but I'm bad at math. I have
Okay.
one shonen I watched it. I give it a 5, but like that's the main score because it's the only show. But the weighted score of given genre is 6.84.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't get it. I have that for Yuri. Like I have one for Yuri, and the weighted score is 6.14.
Same. I have one for Yuri. I gave it a 4.
Hmm.
But it's 6.83 with 1 hour. I watched it 1 hour. What?
Yeah, same.
Which show is this one? Can I click it? Oh, it was the Stainless Night. I see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it makes all the sense now.
Yeah, it's even unrated for me. Damn. Yeah, I don't understand how the weighted score works.
Nah, don't worry about it. Just fun.
No, I have to worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Now, what is your favorite studios?
Top 3 there as well?
Top three, bottom three.
Okay. Top 3, same as before, starting with the third. Ufotable, which makes sense.
Hmm.
Madhouse, which also makes sense because
Also
that is
makes sense,
definitely
yeah.
on the way down. And number 1 is Bones.
Wow, I like your top three, Tori. Those are good stuff. That's good stuff.
Give
And
me
bottom
top
3?
5.
Top
Give me
5?
top 5 and list 5. That's
Sure,
5.
okay. So if we do top 5, then 5 and 4 would be HAL Filmmaker and Production IG. HAL Filmmaker because they made Aria, and I in case you've ever
that's
watched it,
why-
I love that. And
Oh yeah, they did
Production IG.
They did Bigata HK as well. Huh.
Yep. And the bottom 5 then, let's see here. So 176th is Production IMS. 177th is TNK. 178th is Silverlink. 179th is Sebek. And 180th is 7.
7. Oh, they're terrible.
They are terrible. They made such bad shows like Osama Game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's no good.
7 is not even close from the end of my list, but my list is a little bit weird. Okay. My top 5, starting from 5, is Shaft.
Oh,
Then
okay.
Ufotable, Production IG, Bones, and Madhouse. Because I really enjoy 2000s up to 2016 Madhouse.
yeah,
They
Big
have
Madhouse
so many,
especially.
so many good shows.
Mm.
Then the last 5 are Creators in Pack.
What is that?
And aren't they the shorts makers? No, wait, they make gamers. Didn't they make gamers?
No.
They didn't. They didn't.
I can give some. By the way, Creators Impact is
That was
number
Pine Jam.
199th. They did. Sorry, I I cannot. I just remember this show makes me laugh. Blood Divorce. Hakado Military Nezutsu Trap, which is
Yeah.
NTR show.
Yep.
Yuri NTR stuff. Oji Santa Marshmallow. Osake wa Fu. Yeah, it's a bunch of shorts. Then it's Silverlink. Then Studio Kikan, which have 2 shows. Oh, it's Gutamon Studio.
Oh God.
Okay. Then Hoods Entertainment and Project Number 9. They're responsible for
Project Number 9.
Rokubu.
Awful,
Yeah.
awful studio.
Hoods is so low. That is weird. But again, it's just I watch bad shows from Hood.
All
Let's
right.
make the best bad shows.
My top 5 are 5 is Studio Hibari, which is the studio that did Major, the baseball anime. So yeah, it comes full circle. They also did Char's Counterattack, so that kind of makes sense. Heavy weighted score is what that means. Production IG is 4th. So that's a lot of I think that's the Ghost in the it's Ghost in the Shell, isn't it?
Ghost in the Shell, yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense there.
That's
Usagi
the
drop.
stuff.
Yeah. Comics Wave Films is 3, so that's we know.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what's his face director.
Makoto Shinkai.
Shinkai, yeah, that's Shinkai's place. Nippon Animation is 2, so that's Kage no En, Hunter x Hunter, Future Boy Conan, so a lot of heavily weighted old shows, and then 1 is Studio Ghibli, so there's some pride there.
Studio Ghibli doesn't belong at the top. Sorry.
I just realized that Studio Dean is the 10th
Oh
on my
no.
list.
My bottom 5 are let's see, TNK, Zero G, Go Hands. There's the handshakers and fuckers. I hate them.
Handshakers,
Right.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Gohans. Speaking of which, by the way, Gohans literally just got one of their upcoming projects removed from them for plagiarism. So that's fun.
So it's a trash studio to the end.
Yep.
Silverlink, and then my most disliked studio is Gonzo, and they deserve every bit of that last place.
Something tells me that they have done JD something wrong in the past.
They have done quite a few things wrong in the past for me. I'm curious. What studio has the most hours for you?
Hold on, let me just quickly sort that. For me, it is no surprise. It's Madhouse with 485.37 hours.
For me, it's Toei Animation with 642 hours, and the second one is Madhouse.
Yeah, I got Toei and Sunrise. Toei is at the 765 hours for Toei. Big shonen boy here. Sunrise, Mecha. Yeah, Mecha Space.
Lame.
Oh, come on, Tori. Don't give me that.
It's weird. So many hours into so little shows. Like I have 261 hours from Studio Gallop, which is 9th, but I only watched 6 shows out of it.
What, they all have 100 episodes a pop?
Probably.
Oh, they do Dutch. That's probably the reason.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, makes sense.
Initio D, Rurouni Kenshi, I think the OVA Dutch Transformers, the first season. Yu-Gi-Oh! To Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters and Duel Monsters GX. That's probably the reason why.
All right, so anime recommendations based on this graph list. This is fun. Do you guys just want to do the first 5 listed?
I want to highlight a couple because I have questions.
Okay, go for it, Tori.
Okay, so I have a bunch of shit here that I know nothing about.
Uh-huh.
One, I've never heard of the show before, but at least I know what it's based off of, and that's God damn it, my French. Les Miserables and Shoujo Cosette. Yeah.
Wait,
Shoujo Cosette.
Watched anything related to The Miserables? Les Miserables?
I have not watched the anime Shoujo Cosette, no. I've never even heard of it.
Movies, books.
I don't think so. Not that I know of. But again, I know what that is. I didn't even know that this was an anime that existed. It's from 2007. It's 52 episodes.
Sounds like a good recommendation for you, Tori.
Drama shoujo. Okay, sure. Yes, I guess I do like drama. I guess that's what you're trying to tell me here. But why that show? I don't know. It recommended me Amnesia, which is like, what?
I love it.
Amnesia is not good. I will never watch that.
Nah, come on, Tori. Definitely.
No.
Yeah, come on.
No. Like, it recommended me Konjiki no Gash Bell. 150 episodes from 2003. Another show I've never heard of.
Wait, it recommended Gotch
Wait.
Bell to you?
Gash Bell, yeah.
Yes.
You never heard about Gash Bell?
No, I have never heard about Gash Bell.
Oh, man.
Ugh. Either
Oh,
way,
man.
Capetta, it recommended me 52 episode car anime. That's like
Wait,
so
your
not
Formula
me.
One? Your Formula One anime. Yeah.
Sure, Formula One. I don't like that at all. Dear
There's some top end
boys.
recommendations for you, Tori.
Fuck, I can't even pronounce this. Psych Woo Luki. I don't know. What is this?
It's the best. You should probably
Sister
watch. You
Seven.
should probably watch every single one of those that was recommended to you. Absolutely.
Sister Seven.
I see
Is
no
this-
problem with it.
This is Chinese, right? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, this looks Chinese.
Yeah, you get to
What-
practice your Chinese now.
Sure, yeah, of course. I love Chinese, not wrong at all. No Wayne it recommended me. I've actually heard about that show before, but another shonen from 2020.
You seem upset, Tori.
Kakushigoto. Dear boy, I just don't understand these recommendations. It's like, how to completely miss the mark.
Hickey, you care to take a stab, or should I go next?
I mean, mine are just pretty obvious. It's just shaming me. The site.
Oh, I okay. Inform us of your shame.
Yoru wa mijikashi yaru keyo otome. Night Short Walk and Grow.
Oh, yeah.
2017.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to watch that. Yeah. Tenki no Ko, Weathering with You. Yeah.
Oh, Weathering
I
with
know.
You. Yeah, I like that one.
I know. Momoe no Tegami. It's also a movie. I also need to watch that. It's production ID 2012.
Mhm.
Ponyo.
Ponyo.
that
I
one.
figured you'd seen that already.
I don't like Ghibli movies.
Oh,
like-
that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Hotarubi no Morie. That one is just shoujo stuff. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it.
IQ.
Haikyuu, Outlaw Store. This one, I think it's another one. Children Who Chase Lost Voices. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm,
okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Sekai no Mosho, which never heard. It's Crest Stars.
Yeah, Crest of the
That's
Stars. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Crest of the Stars.
Good
Yeah. I need to watch that one, and like Kaiju no Kodomo, which I have zero interest in.
I think you got some good recommendations there, Tori.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
like-
Or,
just
Hickey.
just a bunch of movies. I know it's just shaming me. I
Yeah, that's good. I
understand.
see when you said it's shaming you. I thought you'd like have some hentai and some hardcore etchy that was recommended to you.
So that's your opinion on me. I see.
Well,
Listen, JD, that's on his other Mal profile.
Yeah, GD, they cannot recommend something I already watched.
oh, damn it, you're right. You've
He's
seen
done
it all.
with the hentai now. It's over to the hentai games now. He needs the source.
He's the source material. So number one for me is Barf again. That's no shock there.
Yeah, you need to watch that one.
Yeah, that's a big one. I need to knock off the list. In This Corner of the World is one.
Dude, see, I watched a lot of World War II movies, and I'm gonna get hate for this, but I don't think In This Corner of the World is very good.
So the first two recommended are war films. Great.
Yeah, they're both about the nuclear bombing of Japan.
Great. Third is Sweetness and Lightning.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
get
so
it.
not your type of show, but yeah.
Not really my type of show, but I could see
mean,
why.
it's
I don't know. I've seen, I
fine.
like Usagi Drop and those
Just-
kind of shows, so maybe I'd like it. Who knows?
Just get
Sweet
from
show.
work, cook something nice, some pasta, pop a whisk open and just watch Sweden in the Lightning.
I was just about to say something very mean. Never mind.
Oh, man.
You
Fourth?
you bastard! I think. Oh my god, Tony.
You know exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah. I know, and God fucking damn it, dude. Oh,
Don't worry about it. Continue, JD. Continue.
All right, so
Oh,
fourth is
God.
a show called Titania.
Titania.
It is a adventure, military, sci-fi, space anime from 2008.
That's
Yeah, I've never heard
your
about
alley.
that one.
I mean, it hits all the genres, that's for sure.
Artland. It's by the yeah.
So Legend of the Galactic Heroes, I guess, maybe?
Legend of the Galactic Heroes, yes. By
Yeah.
Mushishi.
Yeah,
Studio.
so that makes sense. And then fifth, I'm not so sure about this one, guys. It is from 2012, the winter season. It is by Studio Feel, so a little worried already. It is called Listen to Me, Girls, I Am Your Father.
Oh,
I watched that.
I've also seen that.
Kota Hirano is the character in that.
It is, of course, let's see, I'm reading the Mal
Like, the guy
synopsis.
who-
It
the guy
has
who
it has
wrote-
parents that died, so, big check mark there on
guy
the
who,
trope.
Like, if you go on characters, the guy who wrote what is the name? Drifters and Helsing. He inspired one of the characters. You can clearly see him there.
Oh. I see.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, don't.
But tragedy
That
strikes
shows-
when their plane goes missing and all passengers are presumed dead. There's a lot of death in this cute girl looking anime. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that relevant, but yeah.
I mean, the whole synopsis is about people dying.
I know, but that's not really what the show was about. It's not about people dying. It's about somebody having to take care of suddenly have to go to school and take care of kids at the same time.
So that sounds like
Well,
the Usagi drop
Cool.
type
Yeah, like
show
a, well,
recommendation. Yeah.
kinda. Like a
Yeah.
school.
Doesn't it have an ecchi tag? Pretty sure it should have an ecchi tag.
It has
It
comedy,
ha-
romance, slice of life. So no,
Yeah,
thank
I
God.
don't think it has. It's got some scenes that are. I wish they didn't. But like in the grand scheme of things, I understand. Yeah, I can see your comparison to Usagi Drop. It's going for a little bit of that same thing, right? It's like, can you take care of these girls? And it's like, sure, but I have to do it while going to college and then work part-time at the same time. And it's like, can I do everything? And I'm like, he's all by himself and shit like that. It's not what I would consider a good show. Definitely not. It's been a while since I watched it though, so I can't really say more about it than that. But yeah, it's got probably the worst first episode I have seen. One of them at least. It's down there.
All
Yeah,
right.
I give it a 7.
Oh,
I give it a
Dark
6.
Times. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few scenes, but yeah, they roll out because I think there's a woman that is interested in the main character. They push them really hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Hirano Kota is not listed in the characters. That's sad.
Mhm.
Oh, there you go. Sako Shuntaro, which looks just like Hirano from the High School of the Dead because it's the mangaka guy. Short, hairy, and fat.
Yep.
God bless him. He gave us Helsing.
So, shall we now move on to... So, Graph.anime is fun. Shall we move on to Inuyasha?
Sure.
I guess.
Sure, you guess? Oh, you don't sound too
No one
enthused,
watching
Tori.
seasonal aside with me, so we just got to skip.
That's
that.
right. No
Well, the
one
season
likes
hasn't
seasonal
really
anime.
started for the shows that I want to watch. There's only like
Oh,
one
yeah.
episode out or two.
True.
So maybe we'll do an impressions on the for the next podcast episode. How about that? Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe. Okay.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay.
Hopefully.
Let's get this show going. Here we go. And welcome to the retro review over Inuyasha Season 1, technically, I guess, sort of, kind of. Episodes 1 through 27. The original air date was fall of 2000 from October 16th. It ran until, let's see, the episodes that we're talking about ran until May 21st, 2001. And I wasn't able to confirm this, but I think it was on a 2-year delay in the United States for airing on television. So for me, it was, I believe it was the Adult Swim Toonami block that this aired. And so I have a lot of kind of, I guess at this point it's almost 20 years old. So yeah, nostalgia for the show from my youth. I'm watching on TV late at night. And after years and years of the show being on TV, in 2000, in 2000, what was the year? Because it fell into that Dragon Ball Z.
5? 4 or 5?
No, it aired until like 2010. Like it was on TV
10?
for. So okay, I believe season 1 aired over and over again in 2002 to 2003, and then after that, it wasn't until. No, okay, I'm looking at the air dates here. So it kept going until 2006, it looks like.
2004.
Still, yeah,
The
2006,
original one, the
and then
Japanese one.
yeah, and then 3 years later, the rest of the show came out. That final arc. So seasons 1 through 5 was kind of on repeat, a seasonal repeat, kind of in that Dragon Ball Z territory for a long time. And I think a lot of listeners might have also seen this in the same realm. So Inuyasha has a history with myself, and Tori, you have no history with the show, right?
Absolutely none.
Except that one Flash
Yeah,
game.
except that one
you
Flash
played.
game I played. Yeah, I played a Flash game. I don't even remember the name of it. Like back in primary school days when getting access to a computer and all you could play was Flash games. So I remember picking up a Flash game that had it had like a grid system with like characters you could pick and different abilities and stuff like that. And as I was watching this, I was just like, huh, I remember Inuyasha from somewhere. I remember Naraku from somewhere. I've seen these once before. I remember Sango from somewhere. I haven't seen this show, have I? And then I just clicked them. It's like, oh, right. I played a Flash game with these characters.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I remember. Oh, man. Like 2002. Oh, back in a time where I didn't have muscle pains all the time. Well, aside the fact
you
that I
act like
played
you're an old
soccer.
man, Hickey.
Oh, I suffered a lot of... For some reason, I had a stroke of muscle pain past week. I thought I got dengue fever, actually. But I didn't have the fever, just the muscle pain. And my shoulder was kind of dislocated, so I had to go fix that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. But it's okay. It's not no. It's anything that Salompas didn't work. 2002. Apparently, it says here that it never came. The ending never came. Like aside, like just like it happened on the US. They never aired the ending, but apparently it is dubbed and I can watch it on Prime Video.
Well, the English air date was... So, when the final season came out, it was in 2009. But it took... it wasn't until 2012 when the English air date finally happened. So it was on a 3-year delay for the season ending. And I remember when it came out, and I went to a torrent site to get all the fan subs for it. That's what I ended up doing.
Yeah, just waiting fucking 10 years.
I'm not waiting 3 years for an English dub for Inuyasha. So,
well, shit. Apparently, Portuguese dub of Inuyasha is on Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah, cool.
I don't remember when it stopped. On which episode it stopped.
For those that don't
on Cartoon
know,
Network.
The author of the original manga is Rumiko Takahashi. So Ramno 1/2, Urusei Yatsura, among the two. This might be her most famous to a Western audience. I think that's safe to say. Might be her
Not
most
to
famous work.
me.
It, I guess it depends on the age demographic.
Yeah, so maybe
Honestly.
an 80s
Maybe
child
Ranma.
would know Ranma more. 90s child would know Inuyasha
Inuyasha.
more. Yeah, okay, that's fair to say. That's fair to
Well,
say.
2000s. Like it was when it was airing on. Well, I guess I was born in the 90s. Yeah,
You were born in the 90s, Hickey, yes.
yeah, late 90s. I'm sorry, JD. I don't
Look,
like when you paired me with you.
look,
Makes me
man.
feel old.
Why you gotta be like that? So
I'm
the
being honest
original.
with you because I like you. I could just lie to you.
Yeah, just lie to me. That's fine.
Okay, sure.
Ignorance is bliss. The director is Masashi Ikeda. He's also famous for Gundam Wing and being involved with Samurai Troopers, which you might also know from the Toonami block as Ronin Warriors. So he's got some history on Toonami. This fella. I think he also did storyboard for Votones. Yes, confirmed. So some mecha, some shonen. He's got some history there. Our story, our summary from Studio Sunrise here and Anime Planet. Kagome is a normal high school girl who falls into a well, transporting her back in time to the feudal era. So we have an isekai.
Whoa.
Yes. Upon her arrival to this world, she mercifully unleashes Inuyasha, a half-demon. And as if this isn't enough, she also discovers that she is the bearer of the Shikon Jewel, a great spiritual power, a jewel which has just been shattered into a million shards by her. Now, along with Miroku the priest, Sango the demon hunter, and Shippo, a mischievous fox demon, they must set out to find the broken jewel shards and defeat the evils of the demon Naraku. Naraku.
Naraku.
Naraku.
That's kind of your setup. It's actually kind of good little summary there. The first season, the first 27 episodes, is setting just that plot and that summary. So you gather your group of 5 together because it's the 90s, early 2000s. You have to have a group of 5. And it's fairly episodic, yet it kind of all rolls together because each episode they get a jewel shard. As the series goes on, they might lose it again, might get stolen, just to move the plot along.
Might.
Yes.
I don't know. I got so sick of them just like, please take care of this thing. Sure. I'm going to put it in a jar and put it in my window and open the window and then leave.
No problem, right?
Fuck's sake. It's like, please. I don't mind it being stolen, but at least pretend to be taking care of them.
Nah, come on.
Sake.
So it's been a number of years. I actually have the whole DVD set of this show. So very.
Yeah, because you love the mangaka.
Yes, I'm a big Rumiko Takahashi fan. Oh yeah,
your love for the mangaka.
Yeah, I do like her. There's something about the way it's very easygoing to consume the media or stories that she tells, or lack their plot. But maybe someday some things will finish, much like this show did on a way delay. But yeah, the beginning of this show, I was very taken aback by how long it takes to actually gather the whole group together. I thought it happened way faster. It's much more slow paced than I remember. Hickey, I don't know your history with the show exactly, but did you feel the same way?
I had like 6 years. I was like 6 years old, but I remember. Yeah, it's a similar feeling. Also with the romance, I don't remember the romance being so pronounced in like 10 episodes, and they already in love, I guess. But yeah, they
Kind of,
explain
more or
why.
less, yeah.
More on Kagome, Yashi, he's like, oh, he loved Kikyo, the other priest that sacrificed herself with a Jew. And she reincarnated as Kagome. So like, oh, Inuyasha is well explained. Doesn't explain Kagome, maybe because she's just a pretty much shoujo protagonist. she's young and naive, and she'll just fall for the cool, pretty boy, I guess. But I didn't remember being so fast. The romance being so quickly established as it was. I was taken away a little bit because usually those kind of things they take a while, like at least 100 episodes.
Maybe not in Rumiko Takahashi shows. They kind of establish love at first sight kind of deal.
Guess I'll have to go back and watch them again.
Well, shit, like episode 1, it's like, you guys are going to get married.
Cool.
Yeah, the pace was, just I also didn't remember how many times people screamed INUYAHSA in one episode. Like, holy shit.
INUYASHA! KAGOME! Over and over again. Yeah, for sure.
Typical shonen.
Tori, what are your thoughts over the show? I know you're not the shonen boy like I am.
I am not. Yeah. No, I've actually been enjoying these episodes. It's been fun. It's not. It is shonen, but it's not like the bang average shonen that I'm used to.
Okay. Care to elaborate on that?
So it follows a lot of the common shonen tropes, but when it comes to Rumiko Takahashi, you can definitely tell that, again, it's one of those things like you can tell that it's not written by a guy. Mm-hmm. There is a different, again, I think it has to do with the fact that it is more playing less on logic and playing more on emotion, if that makes sense.
No, I absolutely get where you're coming from with that. Yeah,
I can appreciate that in the storytelling, right? Because at this point, I'm so used to guy stories, I'm so used to typical shonen written by men for boys, and then it's like all about like, does this make logical sense or not? No, but I'm a man, so it doesn't matter. Here it's more like emotions play in, confusion, kind of like, I don't care for that. I don't care for Inuyasha. I don't give a shit about him and Inuyasha. It's like, I don't give a shit about KAGOME, but it's like, I kind of do though. It's like, why though? I don't know. Maybe I like. Nah, it can't be that I like him. Never. It's like a little bit back and forth there. It's those minor things that just, it can get slightly annoying at times, but at the same time, it's fine. I don't love it, but I appreciate it. It makes it feel at least a little bit different to a lot of other 90s shonens and 90s to early 2000s shonens. And yeah, I can like that. I can dig it.
What I liked about the way season 1 here, episodes 1 through 27, kind of made the story come together, because what ends up happening is once they establish the plot, which takes a while, once they establish the characters in the group, then the show goes into kind of the full Rumiko Takahashi episodic story structure. This one, it does have that, but it feels like every two, it takes an episode of, here's a demon, it's got a shard, you got to collect the shards, and he establishes how strong these shards make demons, why these demons want them. And I thought it established the overall villain to the show. It kind of gave him, Naraku, an air of mystery for a little while. It establishes Kikyo. That's who KAGOME is reincarnated from. I really liked the history of Naraku with her. And they don't... It's not this fast pace that a lot of shonen really hit you over the head with. It really gives a lot of things time to breathe in these first 27 episodes. So that was a good way to tell this story. So
definitely.
So I really like that. And every character had a fully established background and their connection to the overall villain. So there's also a reason why they should team up and kind of travel and combine their powers and skills to take on the demon. And then there's Sesshomaru, Inuyasha's half-demon brother. They have a big backstory of why they come to blows, what Sesshomaru's motivations are. There's still some mystery around it, so It doesn't give you all of the answers at one time, but it gives you enough to sink your teeth into. These are story tropes that a lot of shonens kind of stray away from until they're like in the middle of battle, and then it goes into and then it goes into
it's like you take like, even if you look at other shows like One Piece or Naruto or a lot of those, like you usually, even when you divide it into like the story or something, right? A lot of times you will kind of have a villain established, but it's kind of just that. It's like, okay, this is this arc's big bad. What does he do? He does big bad stuff. We'll get back to him later. Here it's kind of like a lot of ground rules are set beforehand, so that you know a lot about them before before they kind of get established, even to a certain extent, before they get established as big bads. You know they're bad, but they kind of grow in stature over time, and you know more about like the connections between the characters and between the villains and our heroes, instead of just being like, hey, this is big bad monster who ruined town. We must find him and destroy him and stop him, and we will learn about him as we go.
Right.
The journey is the actual interesting thing. Yeah. Like the first season, it doesn't show signs of later power creep or hard resets, which is good as well. A lot of shonen kind of fall into that category, whereas like everyone becomes powerful and then there's a new enemy.
That's
And
even
the
more
actual new
powerful.
enemy that is more powerful. So you need to either hard reset My Hero Academia or power creep the shit out of the characters, and they need to go to training and stuff. This one so far doesn't, because Narako is already strong as hell. Seishomaru is already strong as hell, and you just have minions appearing. So like you don't know they don't have a lot of screen time or enough screen time to actually be power creep, because you don't know anything to begin with.
Right, you know they're powerful, but you can't really gauge how powerful they are. All you know is they're like Naraku's whole deal is the art of manipulation to get what he wants, but you don't really he wants the shard.
The established villains so far, they are fucking strong, like way out of proportion to any other heroes. But because you don't have any, so far, you don't have any intermediary villains that stick around too much for so many times, for so long, that you can gauge kind of the progression of the heroes to defeat said villain. It is a little bit hard to measure the power of everyone. Which is good. So like they kind of trade blows from time to time. They got hit. They hit the villain as well, like the kind of intermediary villains, and they win. But it's always a beatdown.
It is, but they also have the sliding scale of power, though, right? Because they have the wild card in the shards. That still powers them up. But it's like that's the same thing for Naraku. Why is Naraku powerful? Well, I mean, he has a lot of those shards. So it's like the more he gains as well, the more powerful he will get. Right. So it's like you kind of have that like sliding scale of power as well. It's like just because they're which kind of that gets them out of the whole sure. But just because they managed to defeat him or at least ward him off now doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be easier to fight the next time.
Right, because he could easily collect more shards along the way, or do some funky demon stuff. Because I really like the established story background with Naraku, where his whole origin story is his obsession with Kikyo and absorbing demons, or technically them eating him, and then he absorbs their power. They establish that as long as he keeps absorbing demons or doing something of the like, he will get more powerful just doing that. And I can confirm, as someone who's watched the whole show, that does in fact happen throughout the journey. And I like your sliding scale reference, because that's a good way to keep a lot of these enemies fresh, and it also motivates you to watch the journey of the heroes get stronger themselves. There's a good little arc here, or at least 2-episode arc, with Shippo. How there was a couple demon brothers, Hiten, and what was the other name? Looking. Bear with me. Shoot.
The bald one and the Ikemen one.
Yeah, the ones with the lightning and thunder power, basically. Hiten and fuck. What is the
Too many
name?
characters.
Koga.
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 No? No, Koga.
Yeah,
Koga's.
Koga.
I don't think that's right. Monten. Hiten and Monten. Koga's a dude who comes in later in the series.
Yeah. He looks just like one of the other guys.
Well, so this is kind of Shippo's little arc, and this was a good way to establish the weaknesses of Inuyasha and how far he must grow. Because I don't think at that point in the show, if my memory serves, he even has the sword yet. That he's very much synonymous with the show. Does he have the?
Yes, he does.
Yes, because because that comes right after the sword. So that's to establish the sword's power.
Like it gets knocked away, so he has that like moment where he has to fight with the.
That's right. Yes.
The holster for the sword instead, but yes, he does have the sword.
Yeah, so that was good. It established kind of a power level for Inuyasha because he just got the sword. Before that, he was just bare hand fighting, using blood to increase his attack power. I like the establish of his time of weakness with the moon, where he becomes fully human for a bit. They go into a Kikyo arc, so I really liked the story structure of this first season. And from my own memory of my experience before that, I really just remembered it as this episodic journey of collecting shard. They lose it, collect the shard, lose it, break it again, that kind of stuff. Maybe they get an upgraded power to a sword, or someone gets a little stronger. It's very episodic. These first 27 episodes were way better than I remember on how it established everything it really needed to motivate you to watch that journey section of the more episodic nature.
It does do one annoying thing though.
Okay, Tori, what is that one annoying thing?
That one annoying thing is every time it wants you to make sure that you remember that this is connected to something that happened before, it loves to just shove the fucking recap in your face.
There was a lot of
God damn it. Some of those recaps are way longer than they need to be.
I'm gonna be honest. When I saw a recap come, I would hit that fast forward button immediately.
Oh no, same every time. One of the episodes, I swear, there's like 5 minutes of recap.
Oh yeah,
it's like for fuck's sakes. It's like we understand what you're trying to tell us here. Don't fucking. There's no need for all of this recap. Most of this isn't even fucking relevant.
And they are very inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is there a recap this? No recap this episode. Okay, I see. And then like the next episode is like 1 minute recap, and then you just get hit by a 5-minute recap out of nowhere, even though it's like the beginning of the little arc story.
An episode can be anywhere from 21 to fucking 15 minutes.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm counting OPs and ADs, of course.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen any of the Inuyasha movies?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. I think that's probably something I should do.
Maybe I've watched like going through dark ages of the early 2000s. Maybe I got I rented a Inuyasha movie on DVD and watched it.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because I remember doing something along those lines. I don't know if it was Inuyasha or any other other anime that was going on television in the amazing years of 2003.
So one thing I noticed that I'd never really thought about before in the show was as established early, KAGOME can travel back and forth from the feudal era to the modern era through this well. And she frequently goes back and forth between the well. They even use it as kind of a crutch to, quote unquote, protect her from the feudal era. Inuyasha kind of shows some sympathy there towards her. Clearly, he has mixed feelings behind his past love of Kikyo and his developing love for KAGOME, but he definitely fights that throughout the series. But he does feel that connection, and it really struck me how often she goes back. And the question I then asked was, all right, so they're on this journey. This is kind of their point. Do they just kind of go, they see the world like a clock and they're like, all right, this episode we're going to go 1 o'clock. The next episode we're going to travel towards 2 o'clock. This one, and then they just go back. The journey forward, the journey back, and it always kind of goes back to this well. You guys get that same question and feeling from their journey?
It definitely begs questions of like how time is kept, because I mean she goes to the past. When she comes back out, time has passed in the real world, and the future as well. So she spends time away, even though she goes to the past. And then, of course, you have all the stupid bullshit, which is like, sure, but, you know, wouldn't this technically impact the future in a bad way? But I guess not. I guess
there's a lot of time travel. Yeah.
I guess she could literally just go back and be like, well, if everything is fine in the future, I guess we'll eventually make it then, because, I mean,
Well, yeah, because if there's a lot of weird time travel questions. You're best just not asking.
Yeah, but I mean that's typical with these types of stories. But I do just find it a little bit weird. It's like the one episode where it's like Inuyasha just throws her back through the fucking well and then plugs it with a tree, because why not? And then she, Kagome for some reason can't go back, which is like, it's because of the shard. And I'm like, she didn't have the shard when she came back the first time, did she? I don't think she did.
Maybe she had One Piece.
No, she had the whole jewel on her the first time.
Oh yeah, in her chest. Yeah, right, yeah, it was part of her.
Yeah, she got it.
She gave birth to the fucking stone.
No, but it's like, even still, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But then she got the jewel back anyways, or part of it. So it's like, okay, sure, now she can come back. But it's like, I don't know. I do kind of wish for these types of stories that she couldn't just come and leave as she feels like. You also have that weird moment where it's like, it feels like no matter how far they travel from the well, it's always just, oh shit, I gotta go back. Like, turns around and there's the well.
Right, it's okay. Right there. It's the Yamato thing. It's like, all right, we took the whole show to get to this planet, and then one episode later, we're back at Earth. Cool, right?
We literally traveled for days, and it's like, fuck, I gotta get back. Runs back to well. It's like, what? Like, are you traveling away, or are you just like traveling in a big circle around? I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah, I was constantly just wondering myself what this map looks like. It actually looks like, and how far they travel from the well. It's like, do they just go in this weird snake? They have no sense of direction, and then they just turn around and go, oh, yeah, it's this way. Oh, that was closer than I thought.
Yeah, everything feels way too close.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, it's again, I do kind of wish, I do just wish that it wouldn't be like, I don't mind that she can go back, but I do wish it wasn't this, like, at least for a couple episodes, there's kind of a constant where it's like, okay, I'm going home. Yeah, I'm coming back. I'm going home. Coming back. Going home. Coming back. Coming home. It's like, yeah. And then suddenly she gets enemies with her coming back as well. It's just a fucking open circus, apparently.
Yeah, I mean the show does delve into comedy with that at times. They're very self-aware of it. Like, all of her school classmates she's misses school a lot lately.
Yeah. Even Inuyasha just literally fucking like appearing at her home and be like, all right, come with me. It's like, wait, what? How did you get here? How did you get it? How did you get out? I sealed it with fucking spells and shit. It's like, that shit? Nah, that was nothing.
I just ripped it up. It's paper.
Yeah. Spiritual power, please.
I thought the fight scenes never overstayed their welcome. They always seemed to be nice and quick and to the point. I really like that about the show.
Oh.
It was all about kind of setting the stage more than the fight itself.
Yeah, and you just reminded me as well. One thing that I thought was really interesting, right? When they first get or meet Miroku and his kind of wind tunnel is explained, and I'm like, okay, cool. And this can then play into, when they meet the enemy again, because now they have an upper hand, because they have somebody that they're not aware of. I thought it was really cool that they decided to go the opposite route there, kind of bamboozle the viewer a little bit, when it's Naraku's literally prepared for him before they've ever met him. Because obviously he knows. right? Since
Right.
he's also the one who's the reason why he has that. So I do thought it was really cool that they literally just thought about that right away and be like, yeah. So even on the first time we're gonna meet, I literally already have his counter. So he's literally useless here. He can somewhat fight, but other than that, he doesn't have his trump card, so he can't just erase us and be like, yeah, done.
It's funny, even in the spiritual sequel to the show, the new kind of Inuyasha show, when Miroku is shown in battle, he kind of immediately thinks about using his wind tunnel, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I don't have this thing. Oops, I wish I had that at times like this." So he's very self-aware of kind of his weakness.
It's a good thing as well because his ability is technically kind of OP, right? It's like
technically.
No, but I mean it has weaknesses. It's not.
Oh yeah, like
you don't even necessarily.
That's not.
No, but I know you don't even have to get sucked in. We've already shown that people can avoid getting sucked in, and he can't just use it forever. It drains them as well. As you said, I can't absorb that much evil. But like, so it's like they have limitations on it, anyways. But to kind of just have that in place as well, so that to kind of avoid that whole typical like, oh, but he has a wind tunnel in his arm. Why doesn't he just use it when they're in trouble? It's like no, because
No,
they're already well aware of that. It's nice. It's nice that they actually think about that because a lot of shows, well, not even just shows, a lot of shows they don't. They're just kind of like, yeah, sure, he has that super ability, but it wouldn't be fun if he used it. So we're just gonna not use it for any of the fights.
Animation, sound, all that stuff. What do you guys think?
Like average 90s animation, honestly.
Yeah,
kind of.
Early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, skipping a lot of animation for still frames. Just
it's a long-running show.
Simple animation.
Yeah,
quite simple but effective. Honestly, like there isn't anything that I thought it was like, oh man, this should be way better animated. Oh, that was ugly. I guess the side Miroku Power is a little bit ugly at times. It's just like just shrinking and panning out. But aside that, I think it's fine. Also, Inuyasha just teleporting abilities from time to time. But aside that, it's just again, you need to understand the limitations. The show started in what being produced in early 90s because it aired from 2000, so it was for like 1997, 1998 when it started being produced.
What?
When did the manga first come out? Let me see here. The manga came out
96.
in 96. So yeah, maybe 97 it started.
Yeah. Sound could be a little bit better, though, in my opinion. Just effects and stuff. It's just a little bit too cheap.
Yeah, it's kind of weak in that department. It's not a whole lot like impact from sound design. It lacks a little bit there. Same things, like just general thing that kind of bothers me. Like voice acting as well is a little bit like Inuyasha in particular. I don't know. His voice doesn't sit with me. Like at all. No, it doesn't. It's not a bad voice acting per se, but it's like it's just one of those things. Like when I see him, I just don't picture that voice. It makes sense for like quote unquote shonen protagonist type of voicey, but I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me, especially now. When you think about how old he actually is.
I can't say anything because in my mind Inuyasha speaks Portuguese and I was watching in Japanese this time, so it felt a little bit off the whole time.
But it felt off to me as well, and I've just watched the Japanese version.
Yeah. But for me, like it's very, very awkward because like I'm used to everyone. Probably JD the same, but with English. It's like the memory you have is like, oh, this was like, god damn, Brazilian animation studios are doing so well. Look at this. Look at this shit. And then, you know, later on, it's like, oh, there was a Japanese cartoon. They speak Japanese, not Portuguese. Holy shit! And now watching in Japanese is a little bit awkward, to say the least. Also, we didn't talk about the last main character.
Yeah,
well.
Sango. We haven't mentioned her at
Sango.
all, and her backstory, how she's manipulated. Everyone's manipulated at first, so it I kind of like that. That's really the best way to take advantage of trying to get someone to your side. Really, is manipulation. At least in this show.
I think it's good that she becomes a main character, because like she had everything to be just a side character to understand from the place where the jewel came from.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
she turns out to be really important, and how her entire tribe had this big background behind the jewel, and she has a lot of motivation besides revenge. Like and it's funny.
Yeah.
So Inuyasha wants the jewel, but he also kind of, he wants revenge for him destroying his past love. Moroku needs to destroy him because the fucking hand is going to kill him. the curse that Naraku laid upon him. Shippo's kind of there, but she, the fox has nowhere else to really go. So
their dad's kind of dead.
Yeah, that's fine.
His dad, sorry.
And then Sango's got her entire family and village, along with her brother, younger brother's plot to unlock. Yeah, it's a good group with their own separate motivations with the same person involved.
Yeah, I was kind of confused with Sango, because I was like, when I saw her, I'm like, yep, I've seen art of her. I know that definitely she is going to be important later on. So then when they literally just stab her in the back, I'm like, wait. Is this not going to be another Keiko where she dies and comes back later or something?
You're right, because the show established that.
Or it's just one of those characters where fucking, for some reason, everybody on Twitter is just like, yeah, I loved her. And then she crawls out from the grave, and I'm like, there we go. I'm like, hell yeah.
I really like that whole backstory with her, where this spider has threads and it's controlling people, and they're like puppets being controlled, and Naruko was the mastermind behind it all. It was a nice little small, concise plot, and then they go into the cave, which reveals so much.
Yeah,
and all in the background, you still have the presence of Kikyo, her backstory. What's she gonna do later? Because she's this like wandering, vengeful spirit, basically, with a corpse that has to take in souls just to keep its physical being. I really like all that. It's really neat.
Yeah.
It's much better than I remember. At least these first 27 episodes. I don't want to speak about the rest of the show, but these first 27 were really. I thought they were really good.
They are. Even the small villains, they are really good.
Yep.
Like the first one with the hair.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot her name. Then you have like the spirit that got turned evil by the Jews. You have the painter guy, right, with the demons trying to eat his flesh, but he don't give a shit. Like all of that. The villains, the one-time villains are really, really cool as well.
Yeah, they don't feel like your stereotypical like monster of the week villains. That's just like, I will kill you, and then I fail to kill you, because of course they do.
Well,
but,
most
it's nice.
Yeah, most of the setup, there was only a few of those kind of, well, as you said, monster of the week villains, but they all had backstories, and it was really focused on establishing all the characters. Yeah, I mean, they a lot of these fights are really about establishing our group and the main villains, whether that's Sesshomaru and him, Moroku and his monster he's got to attack. Everyone has that bullet point. I think I definitely liked the Thunder Brothers, Hiten and Monten the most, and I think the most interesting to me was the ink painter that was able to use the jewel to have evil ink creatures, and it ends up consuming him from his own lust for power kind of situation, or revenge. Really cool stuff. I really enjoyed it.
Definitely. Don't you just love it when a story has been planned out in advance?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Instead of just doing what you feel like as you go. Oh man, nah, there's a lot of cool stuff here. Definitely, it's a nice beginning. A lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting. Again, I was expecting a whole lot more like typical shonen tropes, kind of like I said, monster of the week type formula, more episodic. I mean, it's still kind of episodic at times, but it's not that, at least not so far. It's not been that bad. It's not, and simultaneously avoiding a lot of the typical tropes. Like I said, the big bad the big bad that comes and shows power, and then you will learn about me later, but you will have to find me first and fight me. They're the bads are, Sesshomaru's still hanging around, Naraku's still hanging around and interfering and trying to steal the shards.
Mm-hmm.
They're still here. They're not gone. They're not just sitting on their ass waiting for the main characters to get stronger so that they can finally, actually have a real battle. They're actually trying to stop them, which is, fight them, which is nice. It feels more realistic, and I also want to mention about Sango as well. When she gets tricked, one of the things that I really appreciate about her is, one, she doesn't just blindly trust Naraku, which is nice, and she is fucking willing to listen to reason. Oh my god, I was so relieved when she was like, maybe they aren't lying to me. Because I've seen so many of these tropes in anime over the years that it's always the same. I won't believe you because someone else told me something else. I will never believe what anybody says to me. I like that she didn't linger on that too much.
So Shomaru even
reservations about fighting with Inuyasha, considering demon hunter and half demon.
Yeah, even Sesshomaru was very much kind of that same way. Naraku comes to him and he's like, "Hey, I got this arm and shard. You'll be able to get the sword." And Sesshomaru looks
retarded.
at him. Yeah, he fucking side eyes this dude and he's like, "All right, I guess I'll take the arm and see what it does, but I don't think I trust this guy."
He drops the arm and he's like, "I see you were trying to kill me, huh? Oh no, totally not. I knew you wouldn't be killed by something like this." Sure, Naraku, sure.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of comic relief characters. There's the Flea. He's got Shippo's a comic relief character. Miyoga's kind of on the annoying side, but he's harmless in the end.
It's so dumb. Yeah. Even then, in the end, when he fucking takes the goddamn shard into the cave, I'm like, even before anything happened, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I wasn't paying a lot of attention. I was like, wait, why did you take the short? Just because you wanted to look what was inside of the cave?
It's so pointless.
You just revived like the most evil motherfucker that ever existed aside Inuyasha father, I guess.
I'm gonna really have to. I'm more motivated now than ever to really just hunker down and watch the spiritual sequel even more, because I do enjoy it. It's very much, it really reminds me a lot of these first 27 episodes of that show. Quite good. I might watch one of the movies. I think in my DVD set they came with like 5 of the movies. I just never watched them. So, my final thoughts over the show is quite enjoyable. A lot of good. It really doesn't go into a lot of the tropes that you're used to with many shonen shows. At times it comes across more like not a seinen, so say, but definitely a little bit more on the female side, which makes sense because the author's a female.
Yeah, I'd say to me it's more like in that like Josei.
That's a much better term. Yeah.
Type of story, right? It's like it's targeted at a male demographic, but it doesn't feel like it, if that makes sense, right? It doesn't feel like it's specifically written with that in mind. I feel like it's more one of those things was like the marketing team was just like, yeah, this seems more shonen-y.
Yeah, this is like the late 90s. We're going to have to revise your story a little bit. It was probably way too Josie to begin with. It probably went through a few revisions with the publisher.
I'm sure you're right.
Yeah.
I bet it was
Considering
originally
the
more
other stories.
slap comedy as well. Because that was
But yeah,
Rumiko's
when
past.
JD said, "Are you guys ready for shonen stuff?" I was like, "Shonen?
Mhm.
Inuyasha is Joshi anime, no?"
Nope.
And then I had to check it out. I was like, "Oh no, it's actually shonen, huh?"
Oh yeah. So I definitely understand why I got into the show in my youth the way I did. I understand why it got popular. These first 27 episodes, I'm going to give it a solid 8, much like we did for Queen Millennia in our previous episode. Now, the rest of the show, I'll reveal not so much, but these first 27, I highly enjoyed it, and I do
foreshadowing
recommend.
the 10. When you just like the mangaka and you like the shows, like the rest of the show, happy exhalation. We have to see is like, oh yeah, it's a 10. Look at that guy. I can see he grinning from here, like thousands and thousands of kilometers away. I can just picture him just smiling. But yeah, I'll give it an 8 as well. It was pretty solid start.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it, definitely. It had some minor things here and there that annoys me a little bit, but nothing too bad. As far as shonen is concerned, I do like it. So yeah, I'm
Wow.
giving it a 7 out of 10.
Wow, 7 and 8s across the board. High praise for Inuyasha. I'm very happy. I was a little worried going in. You guys were a little standoffish to it all, but
Yeah, no, the Sailor Moon trauma is like, oh my god, why am I doing this to my childhood self? What if Inuyasha sucks and I don't remember it correctly? But thank God, it's just like the romance thing kind of sticks out. I didn't remember being so heavy on that, and the amount of times they just scream Inuyasha is like 10 times per episode, or even more sometimes. Because when it's just Kagome, I think it's 10. But then you have like Miroku and then just Sango, and everyone just screams Inuyasha every single time. So like it kind of gets to my nerves from time to time. So I thank God I just limited the time, the amount of episodes I watched it per day, because if you go 4 episodes with Inuyasha being screamed on your ear every single 2 minutes, it might get a little bit stressful.
sure. Yeah, I see that.
Nah, definitely not. As somebody who watched 5 episodes per day, no.
Ooh. So that was Inuyasha, episodes 1 through 27, season 1. And our next episode, we're reviewing Blue Gender.
Woo!
Yay.
It's been on my plan to watch list for a long, long time. I'm very excited for that one. That will be episode 98. But this was the end of episode 97. Tori Hickey, see you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.